So I thought I'd make a little video just to showcase the Juggernaut, Arcane, Radium, whatever you want to call it, fuel system. Um, just disregard that T into the blow-off valve line. But that's essentially what you need to do. You take your blow-off valve line, um, and then you T into it for the boost reference on the pump. And I also have, this is kind of all ghetto right now, but the power wire leads. So it has two pumps, it has two relays. Those connect over onto the fuse block, if you will, over here. I decided not to put them on the battery. But anyway, this and the power leads are ran underneath the car, where your brake lines and your fuel line are. And then what you do get supplied a, what do you call it? It's a gauge to read the fuel pressure, and that just slips on to your stock rail. I have aftermarket rails, but it would work with your stock rails. It's really nice. I've noticed that it reads like about 5 psi higher than what I'm reading on HP tuners. And then there, of course, is the stock fuel pressure gauge, or fuel pressure sensor. Then inside the car, let's see. Trying to turn on the flash. Okay. Underneath here is the pump, of course. So no more boost to pump. This is just a negative or ground terminal that went to the ground for the boost to pump. There is a ground like right around in here that you can just put that into. So there's two ground leads, one for each pump. And we take that off, and you have like a rat's nest of stuff in here. So I don't want to take it all out. But essentially, from the wiring harness that you're given, you'll tap into the positive for each pump. There's one here, and then one here. The negatives, there's one for each pump, one here, and they're labeled. Then you run the negatives to the ground terminal. Then the wiring harness just goes ahead and plugs into your existing harness. That had nothing to do with what I was installing. I think that was from previously trying to tap in and get the voltage with the booster pump. But here's the feed line, and then the boost reference goes in on top. You adjust the regulator with an Allen key on top, just like you would any other regulator. And besides running the lines, that's it. I mean, I can't show you the pump inside because I really don't want to take this out. But the pump was pretty easy to set up. You are given basically the fuel hat, and then what you ordered, the pumps that you ordered, and then you'll put it together inside. You take the hat apart, and you'll put the two pumps together. Well, you basically just put a feed line from each one into the regulator, and then the regulator has a line that comes down off of the top of the hat, and that one, it just bleeds off the excess fuel into the hat, basically. It was really easy to set up, maybe took about 15-20 minutes. And then to get it inside, swapping that over, you just have to take off the fuel level sensor. You take that off from the stock basket or fuel pump sending unit, whatever you want to call it. You put that on the new one. You will have to wire up a connection, which is really easy. They supply the connector. And then, oh, that's also what I didn't get to. But there are 2 lines over here, here, and here. Those go to the, on the wiring harness, there is labeled fuel level sensor. So the wiring harness has labels on it, like this. That's how it came when I got it. There are no instructions with this, at least none that came with me, with mine. But what you can do is go on to Radium's website. You find the product for the fuel hat. I think it's, actually I don't even want to guess on the product number, but I believe it's pretty easy to find. And then there's an in-depth instruction manual in there, which you can use to basically double check what you're doing and make sure it's correct. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but when I move the seat back or forward and then get it to come back to the position it should have been in, I'll have that happen. But I'll show you how the car starts. So I haven't started it at all in probably 48 hours. And this doesn't have a check valve. You can opt for that so you don't lose pressure at the rails. And it's just a quicker start, but I'll show you what it's like. I mean, you just heard that the fuel pump does still prime, but it's going to take like an extra second or two to start. So anyway, there you have it. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know.